Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Doc's Diaries. So, as a host to the Lagging Legends Network, I'm always talking about the leagues, other people's races, and I very often kind of skip over mine. You don't really get to see this side of me very often because when I'm hosting, I make it fun. I try to be engaging, entertaining, naturally. That's what the goal is. But I don't really get to talk about my races very often. And I thought maybe people might care a little bit. Maybe they wanted to hear more of the calm, cool, collected. But I'm also at work right now, so I have to be quiet and professional. For those who don't know, I'm a sales representative for Ford Lincoln. So I can't get too animated. In the future of this series, who knows what's going to happen, especially if I record after a race. This is a moment to where I was able to sit back and digest a few things, watch a few clips. UTLR Daytona truck race was rough. It was hard. I'm not going to say it wasn't enjoyable because there was a lot of aspects that was fun. I just kept having such bad luck. And that has been the theme for me at Daytona so far. No matter where I've been, no matter where I'm at, 2 to go, somehow Nanners ends up spun, flipping, something. Like yesterday, I wound up on top of another truck. Crashed and went into the infield and then just sat there and let the race end. It was very frustrating. There was a couple drivers, in specific, that I kept having more issues with, but I think that's more of a product of us being in the same spots a lot, because one thing I can tell everybody is very quick to blame the vehicle that hits them behind them, but they don't think about the accordion effect that made it happen most of the time. I'm not perfect, definitely not. Got a lot of growing to do, but so does a lot of other drivers, and I hope that those drivers can find it within themselves to acknowledge, I've got to be better. I've got to be smarter. I've got to be smoother. I've got to be more consistent. I'm not perfect. I'll say it again. I made mistakes. There was a couple of moments throughout the race that, I didn't make the move that I should have, I'm sure. But for the most part, I felt like I raced a really clean race. And I was way too giving. I was very quick to get off the throttle. And with that being said, when you get off the throttle, you're giving the truck in front of you the opportunity to get back in line, which, okay, it's probably better than causing a wreck. But then you cause the back line to get backed up and harm the other trucks that's in the race. I think people just get way too impatient and try to make moves way too quick. So many times there was trucks trying to fit into the little tight gaps with 30 to go still, really. And it's racing. I know we all want to be as far up as possible, but there's just something about last night that felt like it could have been great. Honestly, it felt like it could have been great, but the product that we put out there was not great. It wasn't as bad as I think most people expected, and for the most part, I feel like it was very promising, but I've got to learn, why am I getting wrecked so much at the end? Because most of the time I'm giving, and I end up just getting dumped because nobody else is giving room for me. I'll let off the gas to let somebody get back in line, and people don't let off for me, and the next thing I know, I'm getting spun, or that's really been the most common factor, really. I don't know what the answer is. I don't want to wreck people, I know that. That's never my goal. But at some point, you have to start looking at it from a driver's perspective, and I'll be honest with everybody, it's very difficult to be a driver and care about what you're doing on track while also being the host of a show, because you really don't want to be the topic of bad press, because you want people to tune in, you want people to have fun, and it's really difficult to balance, am I being a clean driver while also trying to capitalize on the moments that are presented to me? And I feel like yesterday, I know I made some people irritated. There was one moment that I didn't know what to do. But, it happens to everybody. It's a really hard thing to balance on super speedways, especially because everyone's egos and feelings are so vulnerable. They're so fragile. Like, oh, you bumped me. Oh, you knocked me out of the groove. I got knocked out of the groove by my own teammate. I got spun by my own teammate. That don't matter. We're all racing here, people. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, we're going to say stuff, but at the end of the day, get over it. Literally, it's Daytona on a freaking video game with 25 trucks or whatever it was. At some point, you just have to be realistic in your thought process. The world does not revolve around you. You do not have an infinite and perfect air bubble around your truck that's going to take care of you. It's not there. We're all going to get wrecked. It's super speedway racing. So I think we need to stop getting so irritated and so judgmental over a type of race that we only do a couple of times. The facts are super speedways are very stressful. A lot of crazy things happen, and that's just how it is. It's like that in real life too. But in real life, they can control the cars a little bit better. There's a big difference between controller players and wheel players. On regular oval tracks, mile and a half, short tracks, it's not that big of a deal. But on a super speedway, there's so many variables that we just need to swallow our pride and just push through it, have fun, and just try to do the best we can with the hand we got. That's how I feel. This has been the first iteration of Doc's Diaries. I'm not sure how often I will post these. It may be in every race thing. It may just be when I want to. But again, as a host, I focus so much on everybody else that I tend to not talk about myself. So I just thought it'd be fun. No one watches. It's okay. It feels good just to be able to talk. And this gives me an opportunity to speak a little bit more freely about my mind and my thoughts in a different manner, different demeanor. Again, in the future, who knows? I come live after a race. I'm usually pretty fired up, but that's like anybody else. I think race car drivers, that's another thing too. Not trying to make this run on, but we are race car drivers. I've raced in real life. Not that that means anything. That doesn't make me special, but it's the same thing. It's never the driver's fault until they go back, watch the tape, and understand more. You always blame the car that hit you because that's what you see, but you don't know what happened to make that happen. 99% of the time, there's 3 cars involved when you think there's only 1. That's the facts. We are all prima donnas. We all have egos. They're all fragile. But gotta learn to manage that. That's part of being as professional as possible. And a lot of times in the moment, we're going to say stuff that's not like, ah, man, I wish I hadn't said that. But what you decided the next day and going forward is what's really going to decide it. Now, again, super speedways, so don't get too worked up over that. It's unpredictable for a reason. But in the future, we'll see what happens. Today, going Cup Series racing at Daytona. I'm going to go home and take a nap after work. I'm sick. That's just a fact. I feel bad. My eyes are heavy. But we're going to push through, and we're going to race today. I know this has kind of went on a little bit longer than I planned on, but I really like to talk if you haven't been on the notice. But thank you for tuning in to Doc's Diaries, and I will see you next time.